Hi, Carol. No, you know what? I postponed my surgery because my knee started feeling better. It's perfectly fine right now. And I just didn't want to get cut on unless I absolutely had to. You know what I mean? Well, it is 6:30, everybody. Time for another episode of Tiger Stamp Club Live, where we make great cards. And I'd like to welcome you here. And hi, Carol. I was just telling Carol that I was supposed to have surgery today on my knee to repair a torn meniscus. But my knee started feeling better about 2 weeks ago. And I kept on trying to decide whether I should have the surgery or not. And my wife was going, "Why are you getting surgery if your knee is, feeling fine and all that?" So finally, I decided to postpone it. And they told me my surgery order was good for 6 months. So if it flares back up and is causing me pain, then all I have to do is call them. So for right now, it's postponed. And all seems to be good, so that's good. So I was really planning on trying to do something with the heat foil system. I know I'm not saying that right, but I really can't find a card that I love. And then I ran across this little card. Let me show you. On the Stampin' Up website, and I thought it was super cute, and it uses a lot of the new products from the online selections, online exclusive selections. Hi, Susan. And I just thought it was super cute. I don't always do Halloween cards, but I thought this one was a lot of fun. And it's a lot of fun to put together. And we don't use any DSP. This is all die cuts, one simple stamped sentiment, and then it's heat embossed. So it is pretty simple to do. And I think it looks so fun. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to set it right here. And let's talk about this bundle that we're going to use to make tonight's card. Hi, Elizabeth. This is called the Oh My Fright bundle. And as you can see, there are fun images that you can stamp. These are Halloween themed. And then the sentiments, boo to you, happy Halloween, and trick or treat. And so you have images and sentiments. So it's the perfect bundle to make because you have everything you need to make a card. And then you have these great corresponding dies to embellish your card with. So I really like this tree here. I haven't used it yet. We're going to be using this little ghost, these bats, this little flourish, this little line of stars, and the bats. Did I say bats already? To make tonight's card. Hi, Gloria. Hi, Linda. What was I going to say? Yeah, we're not using the DSP, although the DSP is very cool. So let me bring over some of the things we're going to need. First of all, you're going to need a card base that is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored on the long side at 4 1/4. A standard card base, and let me give that a good crease with my bone folder. And this is, like I said before, basic black. And then I am going to concentrate on this. This is the inside of the card, and it's 4 by 5 1/4. Hey, Nancy. And I'm going to bring over my Timid Tiger and a blending brush. And then, let me see, where do I want it? I think maybe in this corner. I'm just going to blend a little bit of this Timid Tiger in the corner here. All right, that's enough. Just a little bit in that corner. And that's going to give us a little highlighted place to put our little ghost on the inside. So I am going to add some glue to that little ghost. And then he's going to be inside here. And then we're going to put this on the inside of our card. Hey, Linda Young. Hi, Denise. All right, and he looks just so cute right there on the inside. All right, now let's talk about our front mat. We're going to take a panel that is 4 by 5 1/4 of basic gray, and we're going to run that through the cut and emboss machine using this brand new Swirls of Magic embossing folder. And I've seen this, you know, it's intended and included with our Halloween suite, but I've seen it on a Christmas card and it looked really, really good. So even though it is designated to be in with the Halloween suite, it does not mean that it has to be. And over here on the side, I'm going to run that through my cut and emboss machine real quick. And now I wanted to also point out that this is an oversized embossing folder. So you're not just limited to card size designs. You could do a bigger panel here. I'm going to run this through real quick over here on the side. And then I'm going to show you how amazing it looks. And so if this folder is not on your wish list already, well, maybe it's not. Well, yeah, it could be. Look, I hope you can see this. Look at that amazing texture. I'm just gonna look here. Can you see all that? It is really, really nice. Denise says she loves Halloween cards. I'm glad, Denise. Oh yeah, I think I seem to remember that. So, and before I goo it all up with my glue here, even the back side is really cool. The deboss side is just as amazing as the emboss side. All right, so this is going to layer on the front of our card. See if I can get that on there straightish. That is good. So again, basic black card base, basic gray mat that has been embossed with the Swirls of Magic folder. And now we're ready to decorate the front of our card. Hey, Jen. So let's talk about what we're going to need to decorate our card. Give me a second. I've got all these little pieces here. So the star of our show are going to be these little ghosts. And for tonight's card, we are going to need 6 of these. And I cut these out, of course, of basic white. So you need 6 ghosts. And then you need 3 bats. And the cool thing about the bats is it's 1 die, and then the bats are different sizes. They don't look exactly the same, so that gives good interest to your card. And then here are the flourishes, and there are 4 flourishes that you'll need. I've already stamped and embossed the sentiment, boo, and it's on basic black. I stamped in Versamark and heat set with white embossing powder. And then there is a star die that has stars and then 2 other shapes with it. And it's all in 1 die, and I just did it twice to give us the number of stars that we need. All right? And I'm not going to take those out because I will for sure lose those. All right? So what I also did was I took 2 layering circle dies and cut out this little shape here. And that's going to help me with my placement of my ghosts. Okay? And so I'm going to, first of all, start with adhering the sentiment, because I want to make sure that I can get that sentiment in the right spot, and the ghost I can kind of play with the placement. And I want this to be right about here, not centered, just a little bit below center of where our ghosts are going to be. I'm going to move this out of the way before I press it down. I want that to be right about there. Okay? Oh, let me also talk to you about, so this is an inch tall basic black, and then I used our Banners Pick-a-Punch to notch it. Of course, you can manually notch it, but I'm not great at getting it right in the center, and I wanted it in the center on tonight's card. So that makes it super, super easy. All right, now I'm going to put this back here, and I'm just going to use this as a guide to help me place my ghost in a circle. Oh, thanks for sharing, Jane. Thanks for sharing, Jen. And I saw someone else, I think Liz shared. So thank you, guys. All right. So what I did on my example card is I found it was really easy to just put a dimensional on my ghost and then position it and layer it. Okay, so this is basically how I want it to go. I want that to go right there. So I'm going to move my circle out of the way, and then I'm going to put that right there. All right, nothing hard so far. All right, I'm going to place my circle. And it, you know, if you're good at putting things in a circle, I'm just not great at it. You know, I tried it before and it kind of just does not look exactly like a circle anymore. So that's why I'm just using this as a guide. All right. So this guy's going to go something like that. Move the circle out of the way and commit the ghost. All right, you see how that's working? And like I said, you guys may not need the guide here, but I found it was a simple way to make sure I got a good circle. All right. So this one's going to go like that. All right, let's keep going. You know, if you do all your die cutting ahead, when it's time to assemble, it really makes quick work of it. So if you do have time to, you know, do your die cutting ahead, it makes it super fun and easy to put a card together. Okay. You see how that's working? Mine would be, if without this little guide here, mine would be all Jabberwocky. I'm confident of that. Oh, you know, that's a good idea too. I was just afraid that Nancy says she would just glue it on the circle and then glue the circle to the card. And that is that's another great idea. I was afraid I wouldn't get it all lined up super well and that maybe some of my circle would show. And maybe that wouldn't matter, you know, maybe it wouldn't matter at all. But I love that tip. I would love that idea, you know, because they do kind of overlap. So that is a possibility, and that would even make it easier to do. Because if you just lined it up on the circle, that would make it super easy. All right. In no time at all, we have a circle of ghosts going around on our card. And I just like the movement that creates. I think that makes it a very interesting card. All right. Whew, I'm glad to get that over with. That's the hardest part. All right, now I'm just going to add some flourishes around in the corners mostly. Hey, Patricia. Yes, these ghosts are super, super cute. So as a recap, I just cut 6 of them and we're gluing them in a circle around our sentiment, which is heat embossed with white embossing powder. Now, I used this little circle that I did 2 layering circles together to give me a thin circle, and I used that as a guide so I could get a pretty good circle going. And Nancy suggested just gluing it to this circle and then gluing all the ghosts to the card at the same time. And that would work as well. All right, I'm using my fine tip glue gun, which is not a Stampin' Up product. And I'm just going to put these flourishes in the corner. And you can see that my glue is smearing a little bit, but I'm not worried about it because our glue dries clear. So once it dries, you won't be able to see it. because I can't seem to get it in the right spot on the first go. All right. So you need 6 of these ghosts, like I said before, and 4 of these flourishes. The ghosts are basic white, and these flourishes are pumpkin pie. Although I could have used Timid Tiger like I did on the inside of the card, because both of those orange colors are listed as matching the DSP. Now, I wouldn't even have to worry about that on this card because we're not using the DSP. But if you were using the DSP and needed the specific kind of orange, then you would use one of those. I'm going to trim off this little tail. Slip it behind here. Because my Stampin' Dimensional was getting in the way of me being able to slip that all the way under. I really like how this is coming together. Now we're going to decorate with our bats. And I know I'm going to need some mini dimensionals, so let me grab those. And I'm actually going to cut my mini dimensionals in half here because they're just a little bit too big for our bat wings. All right, so this bat is going to go right about here. So I am going to put half a dimensional on the back on this end, trying to get it so it doesn't show through. That should work. And now if I can just get the backing off. Now that I've cut it in half, it makes it even harder to do that. There we go. And it's going to slip in here. These bats are playing with the ghost. There's one. Let's do the bigger one. All right, this one's going to be kind of upside down, so I need it on this wing. Hold on, one of the eyes didn't pop out, so I'm going to pop out the, there we go. And I'm going to add a half a dimensional here. There we go. Oops. Want it on our card. Let's see. There we go. Another half a dimensional, and then we'll work on our stars. So what I like about this design, and I do not know who designed this card because it was a post from Stampin' Up, just advertising this suite. Oh yeah, I think that is the right way. And I'm not sure if they listed who designed this exactly. But I thought it was super, super fun. Oh, and what I was saying is, so we don't use any DSP and we really don't use any embellishments because all these die cuts are going to be our embellishments, you know, the bats and the stars and the flourishing. That is going to take the place of our embellishments. So there's not a lot of extra stuff you have to get to make this card besides the bundle, you know what I mean? All right, so I need a small star here. And I need a larger star here. And then I need a larger star down here. Turn that star over and then grab it. And then, let's see, another tiny star, oh, down here, okay. Missed it. I just want to make sure it's right side up, and it keeps wanting to be upside down. There we go. And what I didn't notice when I was first putting this card together was there are a couple of different shapes. Because I was like, what is that? You know, once I really, you ever look at a card and say, oh, that's good. That's nice and easy and simple. And then you get to making it and you see all the other layers and all the other little pieces. And you go, oh, I didn't notice that piece before. Oh, and I didn't notice this and I didn't notice that. Well, I didn't notice these funky little extra shapes that are in here, but I do love the fact that we're using all of them. Oop, I just turned it over the wrong way. Hold on. There we go. And then we have these little, they're kind of Art Deco diamond shapes. And one goes here. And one goes down here. So these little pieces, like I said before, are going to be our embellishment, and that's all our card needs to be super, super nice and fun. And am I missing anything? I've got 3 bats, I've got 4 flourishes, I've got 6 ghosts, I've got my sentiment, and I've got my stars. And my nice embellished background. Man, that didn't take any time at all. Hold on here. Let me see what's going on. Susan says, really cute card. Thank you. Thanks for sharing, Anita. Remember, if you comment during tonight's video, then your name goes into a drawing to win this really cute card. If you've shared it, then your name will go in twice. You just have to let me know that you've shared it. And it looks like it's going to be super great odds on tonight's card. I tried to, what I noticed on my card that I made earlier as an example, that I got it just a little too low on the card. Now, no one's going to notice that besides us, card makers. But I tried to make this one a little higher up, and I did. And it looks, to me, it looks 10 times better. But like I said, no one's going to notice. And this is going to be the one that's coming in the mail to someone who has commented and or shared tonight's video. That is it. I know that there are announcements like they're running a promotion on Paper Pumpkin. If you haven't subscribed lately, like in the last 18 months, or if you're brand new, you can get 25% off your very first box. Well, that was enough to entice me. You know how I've been saying I should get Paper Pumpkin, I should get Paper Pumpkin. That was enough to entice me to go ahead and do that. And then there's some mention of some brand new Stampin' Dots or Stampin' Spots that are coming out in the brand new catalog, but that's a little bit off. And let's see. That's about it on the Stampin' Up news. I'm sure there's more. You know, our hot foil system is out now, and I've got to get busy playing with that. Jennifer Beeler is already outdoing me on the foiling. But anyway, that is tonight's card. Don't forget to add Swirls of Magic to your wish list because it's amazing. And it's not just for Halloween. This is the bundle, Oh My Fright, $20 for the stamp set. I don't know how much for the dies. Remember, you get 10% off if you order it in a bundle. All right, that's all the blabbering I'm going to do. Thanks for sharing a little bit of time with me tonight as we make this fun card. Someone's going to already have a Halloween card in their stash ready to go when Halloween rolls around. All right, thanks for being here, guys. I will see you next time for another great card. Bye.